From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm David DeForest reporting. A furious Donald Trump says he will be proven right about his allegation that the Obama administration wiretapped his phones just before the election. Mr. Trump charges that the phone tapping was done as part of the former administration's probe into Russia's alleged meddling in the election. The president has not yet released evidence to back up his charges. Jim Clapper is the former director of national intelligence under President Barack Obama.
For the part of the national security apparatus that I oversaw as DNI, there was no such wiretap activity mounted against the president-elect at the time, or as a candidate, or against his campaign.
Clapper is heard courtesy of Meet the Press, NBC News. The New York Times newspaper and NBC report that FBI Director James Comey has called on the Justice Department to publicly reject the president's charges. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes says his committee will investigate the charges. Iraqi forces have begun a new push toward the center of the city of Mosul in an attempt to take positions held by the Islamic State group. Iraqi military officials said Sunday they have overtaken several villages in western Mosul in the latest fighting as they move toward the old section of the city. Thousands of delegates from around China have gathered in Beijing for the annual Parliament session. The session began Sunday in the Great Hall of the People. Premier Li Keqiang told delegates China wants to expand its economic growth by about 6.5% in 2017. 4 top European leaders hold talks Monday on the future of the European Union, hosted by France's President François Hollande. The dinner meeting includes French, German, Italian, and Spanish leaders. This is VOA News. President Donald Trump is expected to sign a new executive order Monday regarding immigration and travel into the United States. A federal court blocked the administration's previous attempt. The Associated Press reports the new travel ban will no longer include Iraq on a list of 7 Middle Eastern nations. Details of the new order were not available Sunday. Local police and the FBI continue to look for a white male who shot a Sikh man. Ken Thomas is the Kent Chief of Police in Washington State.
Comments were made to the effect of get out of our country, go back to where you're from, and our victim was then shot.
The shooting took place near Seattle, Washington. The victim has been released from a hospital, but wishes to remain anonymous and has not made any public statements. South Korea's military says North Korea Monday fired an unidentified projectile into the waters east of the peninsula. The object was fired from an area in North Korea where a missile base is located. Last week, the United States and South Korea began their annual joint military exercises, something that usually angers the North. British Finance Minister Philip Hammond said Sunday that his nation would fight back if the European Union refuses to strike an acceptable agreement on Brexit.
British people have a great fighting spirit, and we will fight back. We will forge new trade deals around the world. We will build our business globally. We will go on from strength to strength, and we will do whatever we need to do to make the British economy competitive and to make sure that this country has a great and successful future.
Philip Hammond spoke on BBC One's The Andrew Marr Show. Thousands of demonstrators marched through the streets of Bucharest, Romania, Sunday, blowing whistles and waving flags. They're trying to register their support for the nation's anti-corruption authority and to demand that the state institutions be free of political interference. Scandal-tainted French presidential hopeful François Fillon addressed a campaign rally Sunday. Thousands of attendees waved French flags and chanted President Fillon as the candidate told them not to give up their fight. Once considered a near shoo-in for president, the 62-year-old Fillon is seeing his support erode. The Islamic State has taken responsibility for executing a kidnapped officer of Pakistan's prime intelligence agency. Police found his body in the city of Multan. They have identified him as Umar Mubin Jilani and quoted witnesses as saying the militants dropped his body on the busy road early Saturday morning before driving away. From the VOA News Center in Washington, I'm Dave DeForest.
That's the latest world news from VOA.